whose welcome would be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer.
That was a very long wheelie.
It was. I was scrolling on my phone, and I even washed my hands afterwards, so I hope you're proud of me.
What, we gotta make this flight?
We're gonna make the flight. We got loads of time.
Oh my word.
Chill. It's all about reducing stress levels. Reducing stress levels leads to longevity and better health, better lifespan, all that stuff. You got any deodorant on you? It's not allowed, is it?
No.
Okay, fine. Alright, time to sleep. Absolutely knackered. I'm gonna put my hair mask on. Right, let's go. Come on. Yo, hanging out in Dubai Mall. I just ran into Casey Neistat in the lift on the way here. He's staying in the same hotel as we are. Said a little bit of a hello. Now we're gonna get some food. It's going to be lit. And I need to figure out what to do with my life. This is gonna be the point. This is my little aim for the trip. Figure out, just figure some things out. What are we doing here? What's all of it for? What's the point? Every 6 months or so I have these sorts of thoughts. What's the future of the YouTube channel? What do I want to do with my life? I don't really know. If anyone has any ideas, would love to hear. Oh, Daniel Wellington. They used to sponsor our stuff. Okay, when do you want to go? I think we want to go up one more for level 2. Food court. Here we go.
Enjoying the culinary delights of...
I love it. The culinary delights of the McDonald's breakfast. This is actually so good. Oh, look at this. The breakfast wrap. Hash browns, sausage McMuffin with egg. It's glorious. I feel very Warren Buffett. He has an egg McMuffin every morning. He does, yeah. Famous for that. Egg McMuffin and a Diet Coke is his breakfast.
Correlation, causation.
Exactly. It's a bit too edgy. It doesn't quite spark joy. Alrighty, successful shopping trip. Thank you very much for the help, Corden. I feel like we're leveling up my style. Although, I do feel like women's wear just looks nicer than men's wear. Do you not think?
Agreed.
Like their outfits are just so nice.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Colors, more variety.
Yeah. Just vibes. Straight up vibes. Yeah, should we head? Hello. How was your nap?
Oh, delicious.
Nice. Intended to have a nap for the last 2 hours, but ended up revamping the slides for our part-time YouTuber Academy instead on a Zoom call with Elizabeth, where we were hashing it out and trying to figure out what the best way of presenting the content is. It's a session all about production value, but what we were doing is adding a bit more of a philosophical take on when is production value actually important. Because if, for example, you have insane production value with fancy cameras, fancy lighting, and people can tell, wow, this looks really super crispy, that does signal expertise, but it also is a negative signal for relatability generally. And so if you're the sort of YouTuber where your audience benefits or your content benefits from being, or it leans on being very relatable, being like a normal person, then in a way, ramping up your production value is probably counterproductive rather than useful. And so from 0 to infinite production value, there's always for every creator, there's going to be a bit of a sweet spot depending on what their audience is, what their audience likes, and how much they're leaning into that relatability versus the credibility aspect. Bit of a false dichotomy between the two, but like it's a bit of a balancing act. And we're trying to think about broadly what are the things that make for a good YouTube video. And I think it comes down to 4 things. Number one, and number 1 and 2 are like probably the most important. Number 1 is, can we get people in through a decent title and thumbnail and topic selection, basically. So that takes care of our click-through rate. Number 2 is, can we keep people watching? So can the content of the video and the pacing of the video and the personality of the person and stuff be sufficiently engaging so that the viewer keeps on watching for as long as possible? And that takes care of our watch time. Those 2 are the hardest bits. Like, that's the $1 million formula. If someone, or the $1 billion formula, if someone can crack that, then they're automatically going to be a pro and going to be a multi-millionaire off of YouTube, because that's literally what every YouTuber is trying to do. But then there's 3 and 4. And number 3, I think, is related to the idea of trust. Do our viewers trust us if we're being educational, that they're going to learn something useful, or trust us if we're being entertaining, that their time is being well spent with us? And I think that's a broader question than just, is this individual video engaging? And I think part of what that question comes down to is the idea of proof of work, which is a concept from like cryptography and cryptocurrencies and stuff. That if, for example, the Bitcoin blockchain is validated by a proof of work mechanism right now, where basically a validator node, or a node that has done, a miner that has done lots and lots of work is, but like everyone else is like validates their proof of work, they've done lots of work, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I trust you based on the fact that you've put in lots of work, lots of computational power into this thing. And so I think there's a bit of a parallel with YouTube as well, where our audience is more likely to trust us if there's a high amount of proof of work that we can demonstrate. So how do we demonstrate proof of work? Basically like signals of effort, signals of how much work has gone into this video, so that they think, oh, okay, I'm going to trust this person. One of them, I think, is just sort of the at-a-glance aesthetic of, for example, the channel homepage. Like, does the cover art look nice, and do the thumbnails look coherent and like legit? In 1 second, as you glance at it, at the channel, do you think, I trust this channel, or do you think this looks like a bit of an amateurish thing that I don't really trust? Number 2, I think, is consistency. If you've been uploading consistently for a while, and if someone sees, oh, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, rather than 1 month ago, 8 months ago, 2 years ago, video consistency schedule definitely adds to this kind of signaling of effort, this proof of work. I think there's also something around density of insights or dopamine hits. So entertainment YouTubers are very good at this, where they will like put in, Mr. Beast does this a lot, multiple storylines and multiple breadcrumbs, so that people are always like getting some new dopamine hit from the content. Similarly, the educational channels that are very engaging are the ones that give you lots and lots of dopamine hits, like a density of insights. Like as you're watching the video, you're feeling like you're learning more and more. That's really good. I think a 4th point is the actual investment that has gone into the video, in terms of, if you look at someone like Johnny Harris, his videos are ridiculously well researched. And if you look at someone like James Johnny, his videos are ridiculously well edited and animated. And people can just tell, like, there's oh my God, there's so much research that's gone into this, or oh my God, there's so much time that's gone into this edit, or oh my God, Mr. Beast spent so much money on this video, or oh my God, this person did this challenge for like 700 days. Like, that's a long time. That's a large amount of effort that has like actively gone into this video. Therefore, I'm more likely to watch, therefore I'm more likely to trust. And I think the final one is production value. And that is then where we talk about gear and audio and lighting and all that jazz. So figuring out, for the last 2 hours, how to turn that into our slides, how to explain it to our students in a way that makes sense. And now we are going to be off to the NAS Summit for the opening ceremony. And I'll take my laptop, do some last minute work on the slides while we're there, just to make sure they're up to scratch. And then we'll come back here with our fancy setup with the Dubai lights in the background, because we've got our YouTuber Academy session starting at 8 p.m. local time, which is about 3 hours, 2.5 hours from now, something like that. So yeah, let's go to the NAS Summit now. Mate, this place is sick. It's like it's absolutely packed. All right, so that was day one of the Dubai trip, done and dusted. Stay tuned for the next series in the vlogs. That'll be linked right over here. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.